Bloodline battle. Your family had been fighting a spiritual war for generations. You are the final warrior. My chosen one. You were never born by accident. The moment you took your first breath, heaven and hell both took notice. Archangel Michael himself stood beside your cradle, for he knew this soul carries the seal of the final battle. The war that began generations ago, the one your ancestors could not finish, has now reached you. Every sickness that lingered for no reason, every cycle of loss that repeated in your family, none of it was random. These were not coincidences. They were spiritual attacks meant to break the bloodline before you could rise. But you are different. The mantle has fallen upon you because heaven saw something unshakable in your spirit. Listen carefully, Archangel Michael is revealing that what you are feeling lately, the heaviness, the strange dreams, the sudden moments of awakening, these are not signs of exhaustion. They are the call of destiny. The same forces that fought your grandparents, the same entities that whispered lies into your lineage, are now trembling because you are awakening. And yet, there's something crucial you must know. The real enemy isn't what you think. The war is not outside your walls. It is inside the invisible threads of your bloodline. The unseen contracts, the hidden words spoken generations ago. They have bound many in silence. But now, Archangel Michael says, the final warrior has risen. You may feel small right now. You may wonder, why me? But beloved, when heaven chooses a final warrior, it is not based on strength. It is based on surrender. Every tear you cried became a weapon. Every heartbreak you endured turned into heavenly fire. You carry the armor of resilience, and that armor was forged through pain. Michael stands before you now, sword burning with holy fire. He says, what your ancestors could not finish, you will. But before the breakthrough, the last strike will come, a test so subtle that many never see it. You'll recognize it not by fear, but by the sudden storm that rises when your faith begins to grow. Hold on, because what I'm about to tell you next will reveal the hidden reason why you were chosen. It's not just about survival. It's about spiritual legacy. Type I am the final warrior in the comments if this word speaks to your spirit. Lesson code 1444 has just been released. Stay close, the next revelation will uncover the secret weapon that's been waiting in your bloodline for centuries. Trust me, you'll want to hear this part. Beloved warrior of light, there is a reason your soul feels ancient. Deep within you lies the memory of battles fought long before you were born. The whispers that come in your dreams, the sudden flashes of déjà vu, they are fragments of a war your ancestors once fought but could not win. Archangel Michael now unveils that the war did not end. You only changed shape. He traveled through generations, waiting for a vessel pure enough, strong enough, and humble enough to bring it to completion. That vessel is you. Every curse, every hardship, every unseen barrier that kept repeating in your bloodline was not meant to destroy your family. It was meant to prepare you. The darkness has been studying your lineage, learning your weaknesses, setting the same traps again and again. But heaven had been watching too, waiting for the one who would break the cycle instead of surviving it. Michael's message is clear. You are not here to continue the war. You are here to end it. You may have noticed how some doors seem to open for others effortlessly, while you must fight for every inch of progress. It is because you are carrying the residue of generations, the emotional, spiritual, and even physical weight of those who came before you. But every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, every time you pray instead of giving up, you are rewriting the code of your bloodline. You are cutting invisible cords that bound your family to fear. You are cleansing the spiritual DNA that once carried pain, and replacing it with divine light. Archangel Michael shows a vision, your bloodline like a great tree. The roots reach deep into history, tangled with both light and darkness. Some roots were poisoned by betrayal, greed, and generational silence. Yet, there in the center of it all is a glowing pulse, the ancestral promise that was never fulfilled. A promise that someone would one day rise and restore what was lost. You are the fulfillment of that promise. The fire in your spirit is not rebellion, it is restoration. But before the victory comes revelation. Michael warns that the enemy will attempt one final deception, not through strangers, but through the familiar, through those who share your name, your home, your blood. Do not fear them, for it is not them you are fighting. The darkness hides behind their pain. Stand firm. Speak blessings even in chaos. That act alone releases heavenly power. The archangel now whispers, the chain is cracking. Even as you listen, something unseen is shifting. You may feel warmth in your chest, a chill in the air, or a sudden peace that is the signal of release. The curse that moved through your lineage is losing grip because the light within you is beginning to remember who it truly is. You are not just fighting for yourself, you are redeeming generations. Stay alert, for the next revelation will reveal the ancient covenant that your ancestors once made, a covenant that heaven is now calling you to break and rewrite. The truth that's about to be unveiled will shake your understanding of destiny. Wait for it, because this next part is where everything begins to make sense. Type "I break the cycle" in the comments if this message resonates with your soul. Blessing code 1919 is now activated. Chosen one, Archangel Michael now opens the book of remembrance over your bloodline. Every family carries spiritual records, moments where heaven witnessed both the triumphs and the betrayals of faith. And in yours, there is a page written in tears. Centuries ago, one of your ancestors made a desperate covenant. It was not a pact of evil, but of survival. They sought protection when war and famine raged, and in their fear, they bound your bloodline to a shadow that still lingers. This is why your family has always been marked by cycles of struggle. The enemy thought he owned the inheritance of your name. But heaven never forgot the original promise, the covenant of light spoken before that pact was ever made. Michael's message is urgent. The old covenant must be broken, and a new one must be declared. The battle has now reached its divine turning point. The angelic host stands ready, waiting for your voice, the final voice, to decree a reversal. You have the authority to do what your ancestors could not. For when you speak under divine command, the chains of time obey you. What bound them can no longer bind you. What silenced them will now amplify your destiny. You are standing in the sacred intersection between what was and what will be. Michael shows you holding a sword made of light. The sword is not physical, it is forged by truth. When you speak life, it glows brighter. When you forgive, it cuts deeper into the darkness. When you pray, it pierces through generations. Every word of faith that leaves your mouth sends ripples into your ancestry, cleansing and healing what was once broken. And now, the moment of declaration has come. Speak aloud these words from your heart. I renounce every shadow and reclaim my divine inheritance. I decree that my family shall walk in light, and every hidden covenant made in fear is now dissolved by the blood of truth. As you speak, Archangel Michael commands his warriors to strike. The spiritual cords attached to generational sorrow begin to shatter. You might sense an emotional weight lifting, a deep exhale from your spirit. That is the sign of your lineage being set free. But the battle isn't over yet. Freedom demands awareness. You must now guard the gate of your house, not just the physical door, but the spiritual threshold. Words, emotions, and intentions are gateways. Guard them fiercely. The darkness will attempt to re-enter through confusion or conflict, but your awareness is now your shield. You are no longer fighting as a victim. You are ruling as a redeemer. Michael whispers, "The bloodline battle ends when gratitude begins." So even now, speak thanks for what is being restored, the unity, the clarity, the abundance that your family never saw. Heaven's court has recorded your act of faith, and the war that raged for generations is bending toward its final victory. Before you move further, pause and breathe. The next revelation will reveal the hidden gift your ancestors left behind, something divine that was never claimed. It's closer than you think, and it carries your next level of power. Keep watching, because this next truth will shift everything you thought you knew about your family's story. Now, before we continue deeper, if this message has stirred something within you, help this word reach others who might be fighting silent battles of their own. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to stay connected with every divine revelation. Your engagement is not just support. It is spiritual warfare in action, spreading light across the digital world. Type "I renounce the old covenant" in the comments if your spirit feels this breakthrough. Blessing code 2024 is now active. My beloved warrior, if this message has awakened your spirit, hear this divine call. This mission is not just about words, it's about setting souls free across nations. Every seed you sow through super thanks, membership, or PayPal link in description becomes spiritual fire that fuels the reach of heaven's voice. When you give, you're not supporting a channel. You're igniting deliverance in others who are still trapped in their own bloodline battles. The Lord says, "Those who water others will themselves be watered." You are sowing into light, into freedom, into divine destiny. I invite you now, not as a request, but as a prophetic act, to release your seed and declare, "I am part of this awakening." As you do, may rivers of abundance and restoration flow through your own bloodline. The heavens are open, and your giving is the key. Beloved child of destiny, the atmosphere around you is changing. Archangel Michael stands closer now, his presence felt in the subtle stillness between your heartbeats. You have broken the covenant of shadow, and heaven has begun to realign your bloodline. But in this moment of victory, a deeper truth unfolds. There was something hidden beneath the war, a gift your ancestors never received. It was preserved by divine mercy, locked away until the generation strong enough to wield it arrived. That generation is yours, and the one appointed to claim it is you. Michael reveals a vision of a sealed chest glowing beneath the earth. This chest represents the lost inheritance of your family, not material wealth, but spiritual authority. Within it lies the courage, wisdom, and favor that once flowed through your lineage before fear entered. Your ancestors once walked with divine insight, healing hands, and prophetic understanding, but when darkness invaded, those gifts were buried for safekeeping. The angel now says, "The seal is breaking." You will begin to see fragments of this inheritance return, in your words, in your dreams, in your intuition. What you once called coincidence will soon reveal itself as divine timing. Do not dismiss what begins to awaken inside you. Some of you will feel energy in your palms. Others will notice visions while praying or sudden bursts of revelation when speaking truth. These are not random sensations. They are signs that heaven is unlocking dormant codes within your spirit. You are carrying the DNA of divine warriors, priests, and intercessors who once carried fire in their breath. Its same fire is returning, stronger and purer than ever before. But Archangel Michael warns, as you rise, the enemy will attempt to distort your awakening through pride or doubt. He will whisper that you are unworthy or that your faith is imagined. Do not listen. The enemy only mocks what he fears. You were chosen because your humility disarms darkness. Heaven's army does not march behind those who seek power. They follow those who seek purpose. Stay anchored in prayer, stay grounded in gratitude, and never forget your power is not borrowed, it is inherited. The angel shows you a divine scroll being unrolled. Upon it are written the words, "The family that once fell will now rise as a house of light." This means your restoration is not limited to you. The ripple of your awakening will reach siblings, parents, even future generations. The same light that fills you will begin to heal broken hearts in your bloodline without you speaking a word. Every act of love, every choice to forgive, becomes a torch passed down to those who come after you. There is, however, a final step before your inheritance is fully activated. You must consecrate your space, your home, your mind, and your atmosphere. Michael instructs that you begin each morning by declaring, "Only light may dwell here." Walk through your rooms, speak it aloud, and let the sound of your faith mark your territory. This act transforms your home into a fortress of light, where no generational darkness can return. The heavens are watching with anticipation, for the mantle is settling on you fully now. You are no longer the descendant of pain. You are the rebuilder of destiny. The restoration that began with your prayer is now echoing into eternity. And yet, Archangel Michael says there is more, something about your name itself that carries divine significance. The next revelation will unveil why your name, your very identity, holds the key to completing this battle once and for all. Type "I claim my divine inheritance" in the comments if this message resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 3030 is now activated. Stay close, because what's about to be revealed next will not only explain why you were chosen, it will uncover the hidden power sealed within your very name. Beloved warrior of divine remembrance, the time has come to uncover the mystery of your name. Names are not coincidences. They are vibrations written into time, carrying the frequency of destiny. When Archangel Michael looked upon you, he did not see merely a mortal body. He saw a sound, a tone that resonates with heavenly design. Your name, the very word people used to call you, was chosen long before your birth. Heaven whispered it into your parents' hearts as a code, a spiritual key that aligns you to your assignment in the bloodline battle. Michael speaks and says, "The name you carry is not just identification, it is activation." Your ancestors bore names that matched their seasons of struggle or survival, but yours was marked for victory. Every syllable of your name has a meaning in the spirit world, whether you know it or not. When your name is spoken with faith, angels respond. When it is spoken with doubt or mockery, darkness attempts to twist its sound. This is why the enemy often attacked your sense of identity, because he feared what would happen the moment you discovered who you truly are. Think of every time you felt invisible, unheard, or unworthy. Those were not accidents. They were spiritual attempts to silence the sound of your calling. But heaven has decreed that silence ends today. The archangel now declares, "Your name shall no longer echo through pain, but through power." The vibrations of your name are being restored to their original purity, the way heaven intended it to sound when it was first written in the scroll of life. This restoration will awaken favor in places where you were once rejected, peace in areas where you once felt confusion, and alignment in relationships that were once chaotic. There is something sacred that happens when you speak your name aloud in prayer. You are not simply addressing God. You are reminding your own spirit of its identity. Michael instructs that you place your hand on your heart and say, "I am who heaven says I am." When you do, the resonance of your name harmonizes with divine order. You begin to remember the original design of your soul, a design that carries both authority and gentleness, power and peace. But be aware, chosen one, that as your true identity rises, the old self will resist. You might notice sudden moments of self-doubt, strange fatigue, or people questioning your path. Do not interpret this as failure. It is simply the shadow of the old identity fading away. You are not losing who you were. You are shedding who you were never meant to be. This transformation is what your ancestors longed for but never reached. Their unfinished awakening now continues through you. Archangel Michael now shows a celestial seal being pressed into a golden surface, the mark of divine ownership. That seal is being placed upon your spirit, confirming that your name is registered in the book of purpose. The war that has raged for generations is no longer just about survival. It is about reclaiming the true names of those who were silenced by fear and doubt. You are the first in your bloodline to carry your name without distortion. You are the correction, the divine right. There is still one final key to unlock the fullness of your authority, understanding the mantle you are meant to wear. Every warrior is given armor that fits their assignment, and yours is unlike any before. What comes next will reveal the type of mantle that has been waiting to rest upon your shoulders since the beginning of your lineage. This mantle will determine the way heaven uses you and the kind of restoration your family will experience through your obedience. Stay close to this revelation, for it will mark the transition from awakening to assignment. Type "I am who heaven says I am" in the comments if this speaks to your identity. Lesson code 4044 is now released. Hold on to this moment, because what comes next will unveil the very armor that Archangel Michael has been guarding for you since the dawn of your family's history. Beloved heir of divine valor, the heavens now shift in tone. You have remembered your name, and now it is time to claim your mantle, the spiritual armor that has awaited you for generations. Archangel Michael stands before you, his wings forming a radiant circle of light. He says this is not the armor of ordinary warfare. This is the mantle of lineage redemption. This means your assignment is not only to stand for yourself, but to stand for all those who came before and those yet to come. Your armor hath been tailored in the fires of ancestry and cooled in the waters of mercy. It carries the marks of every battle fought by those who bore your name before you. In the spirit realm, your mantle glows with a hue unique to your purpose. For some, it appears as silver, a sign of wisdom and intercession. For others, it burns with gold, the emblem of leadership and divine courage. And for a few, it gleams with sapphire blue, the mantle of heavenly justice. Whatever its color, it is not random. It matches the vibration of your calling and the story your family has lived through. Michael declares that the moment you understand this mantle is yours, heaven will begin to arrange your life according to your true spiritual design. When the angel extends his hand, he reveals that the armor is alive. It breathes with your heartbeat and grows stronger with every act of faith. It is sustained not by physical strength, but by spiritual discipline. Prayer polishes it. Gratitude strengthens it. Forgiveness mends the cracks left by sorrow. The enemy knows that once this armor is fully embraced, he cannot touch your bloodline again. This is why he has tried to make you doubt your worth or feel unprepared. But heaven says, you are ready now. The mantle will not wait any longer. You may begin to notice shifts in your environment as this mantle settles upon you. People who once misunderstood you will begin to see you differently. Doors that resisted you will yield. Even the way you carry yourself will change, not with pride, but with quiet authority. You will no longer respond to chaos the way you once did, because peace will become your new defense. This is the evidence that your mantle has descended. Michael calls it the armor of continuance, meaning that as long as you remain faithful, the anointing upon you will flow into every generation after you. There is, however, a sacred responsibility that comes with it. The mantle does not exist for comfort, it exists for commission. You are called to intercede for your family and to speak life into places where death once reigned. When you pray over your family name, the mantle activates like a radiant shield that covers even those who do not yet believe. Every time you forgive a family member, your mantle expands its reach. Every time you bless instead of curse, its light strengthens. You are not just protected, you are becoming protection itself. Michael now whispers, the mantle is your lineage's answer to centuries of silence. For too long, your ancestors fought without seeing the fruit of their faith. You are the one who will see it. You will witness reconciliation where there was division, prosperity where there was poverty, healing where there was hereditary pain. The mantle ensures that heaven's justice will prevail over every unjust pattern that has ruled your family's story. Yet, there is one final element you must understand. Every mantle comes with a vow. This vow is not forced, it is chosen. It is the promise you make to heaven, declaring that you will not let this armor grow cold. It is the declaration that you will use this mantle not for power or pride, but for restoration and mercy. The next revelation will reveal how to seal that vow, how to anchor your mantle so that no storm can remove it. Stay with this, for the vow you are about to take will echo for generations. Type I receive my mantle in the comments if you feel the armor of heaven settling upon your spirit. Blessing code 5050 is now active. Keep watching, because the vow that seals your destiny is about to be spoken, and once it is, your family's spiritual war will bow before your obedience. Beloved guardian of light, you now stand at the threshold of the vow, the sacred oath that will anchor your mantle and close the ancient war. Archangel Michael's presence intensifies around you. His voice carries both power and tenderness as he declares, every warrior who wears heaven's mantle must seal it with truth. This vow is not about religion. It is about remembrance. It is the promise that you will never again forget who you are, nor the bloodline you were sent to redeem. Heaven has been waiting for this moment. The moment your words write the spiritual contract that once bound your family to pain. Michael shows you a vision of a golden altar in the realm of light. Upon it lies a glowing scroll, blank and waiting for your signature. This scroll represents your family's rewritten destiny. The old record of defeat, despair, and brokenness has been removed. Heaven now offers a clean page, ready for the new covenant to be written, one built not on fear, but on faith. The angel instructs you to lift your right hand in faith, wherever you are, and speak these words aloud. I vow to carry light with humility. I vow to be the voice that my ancestors never had. I vow to stand firm in truth, to protect love, and to release peace into my bloodline. I vow that no darkness shall rule where my name is spoken. As these words leave your lips, Michael strikes his sword upon the altar, and a radiant flame bursts forth. That flame is the fire of sealing. It burns away every remnant of ancestral bondage, every hidden contract made in fear, every word ever spoken in despair that tried to define your lineage. What remains is your vow, glowing like a living word in the book of eternity. This vow is now your spiritual foundation. Whenever storms arise, you will feel an inner steadiness that cannot be shaken, for heaven itself bears witness to your promise. You may feel a sudden peace descend upon you. That is not coincidence. It is the mantle adjusting to your vow, merging heaven's purpose with your heartbeat. You are no longer just part of a family line. You have become its restoration point. Michael calls you the keeper of renewal. It means that from this day forward, the atmosphere around you will begin to change. The more you speak hope, the more your surroundings will mirror heaven's order. But Michael offers a gentle warning. The vow will be tested. The test will not come through visible battle but through subtle choice. When you are tempted to speak fear instead of faith, to withdraw instead of stand. Remember, your vow is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Heaven responds not to flawless people, but to faithful ones. Every time you honor the vow with a word of light, your mantle grows brighter. Every time you forgive when it hurts most, your sword becomes sharper. The angel now reveals that this vow has awakened something in the unseen, a ripple that travels backward and forward in time. It is touching generations before you and generations yet to be born. You may soon hear from relatives you've not spoken to in years, or witness reconciliation where bitterness once lived. These are signs that your vow has begun its work. It is healing time itself, mending what was torn across decades. And now, Michael speaks again. Prepare yourself, for the next revelation will not speak of war, but of inheritance. You have fought, you have reclaimed, you have owned. The time is coming to receive the reward promised to every faithful warrior. The inheritance is not just spiritual, it is tangible. It is favor, opportunity, and divine alignment that manifest in your waking life. What comes next will show you how heaven translates victory into visible blessing. Type "I seal my VOW" in light in the comments if your spirit bears witness to this divine covenant. Blessing code 6060 is now released. Do not turn away now, for what you are about to hear will prove that your obedience has opened doors no generation before you could ever unlock. Beloved Redeemer of generations, the heavens now begin to reward your faith. The war that once surrounded your family is losing its final strength, and Archangel Michael steps forward carrying a scroll that shines like morning light. He unrolls it before you and declares, "This is the inheritance that was delayed but never denied." Your ancestors prayed for freedom they never lived to see, for blessings that were suspended in time, waiting for one who would have the courage to break the chains. That one is you. The inheritance is not merely wealth or recognition. It is divine alignment, open doors, peace where there was conflict, and healing that touches even the marrow of your bloodline. Michael says, when a final warrior rises, heaven releases everything that was withheld. The prayers spoken over generations are now converging into your life. You will notice divine acceleration. Things that once took years will begin to happen in days. Relationships long fractured will find sudden reconciliation. Opportunities you thought were gone will reappear, reformed and refined for your purpose. This is not luck. This is restitution. What the enemy delayed, heaven multiplies. Every hour of pain, every season of struggle, is now being converted into purpose. But this inheritance comes with awareness. You must learn to carry blessing as carefully as you carry battle. When peace returns, do not become complacent. The enemy thrives in distraction. Michael warns, guard the gates of prosperity as fiercely as you guard the gates of pain. Remember the vow you made. Remember the mantle you wear. Use your resources not for self-glory, but for divine service. When you bless others, the flow of inheritance increases. When you hoard, it stagnates. The secret to sustain favor lies in generosity, both spiritual and tangible. There is also a message hidden within this inheritance. Some of you will begin to sense ancestral gifts awakening, an intuitive wisdom, a healing touch, prophetic dreams, or sudden creative inspiration. These are not random skills, they are your inheritance. They were buried under sorrow, and now they are resurfacing because the curse has been lifted. Heaven intends for these gifts to serve, to restore, to heal. Do not fear them. Learn to nurture them through prayer, silence, and gratitude. The more you honor these gifts, the stronger they will grow. Michael now speaks of something extraordinary, the restoration of names once forgotten. Within your family tree, there were those who walked in light but were overshadowed by time and tragedy. Their righteousness left unspoken prayers that are now being answered through you. Heaven calls this the ancestral redemption. You are fulfilling their mission by living in victory. The blessings now flowing into your life will extend backward in honor and forward in legacy. This is why you will notice unusual favor, unexpected kindness from strangers, protection from unseen dangers, and doors opening where others were denied. These are signs that your inheritance have been activated. As this moment unfolds, Archangel Michael raises his sword toward the sky, and light pours down like rain. He says, "Your inheritance is sealed not by wealth but by worthiness. You are worthy because you believed when others gave up." The atmosphere around you will feel lighter, as though the air itself recognizes your authority. You may sense a tingling warmth or a peace that settles like a crown. That is the sign of heaven's approval. The time has come for you to step fully into your new season. The inheritance is yours to manage, but its purpose is greater than you. It is to awaken others still trapped in generational shadows. Share your light. Speak your story. Become the living evidence that bloodlines can be redeemed. Before this chapter closes, hear this. Archangel Michael declares that your lineage has moved from warfare to witness. The testimony of your transformation will become a banner for others to follow. And now, take a moment to let gratitude rise in you. If this word has touched your spirit, let it echo across the world. Like this message, share it with others who need deliverance in their families. Comment with your declaration of faith, and subscribe so that every new revelation finds you in divine timing. Every act of engagement helps this prophetic word travel further and reach the souls waiting for their awakening. Type "My inheritance has been restored" in the comments if this message speaks to your heart. Blessing code 7171 is now active. Beloved vessel of victory, if this revelation has spoken life into your spirit, let this be your moment to sow back into the mission that brings light to countless souls. Every seed of support through super thanks, channel membership, where the PayPal link in the description becomes a spiritual offering that keeps the flame of truth burning. This is not about giving to a platform. It is about joining heaven's campaign to break generational chains worldwide. The Lord declares, "Those who build the altar of light will never walk in darkness." As you release your gift, may divine oil flow over your household, healing every hidden wound and multiplying every seed you plant. Act now, not as donation, but as obedience, a prophetic act that aligns you with your restored inheritance. Your support is sacred. It writes new chapters in the story of redemption. Beloved flame of restoration, you have entered the realm of fulfillment, where the war that began in your ancestors' lifetime now turns into testimony. Archangel Michael stands before the gates of your destiny, holding the completed scroll of your bloodline. He looks upon you and says, "The battle is not only won, it is recorded." Every tear shed by your ancestors has been transformed into divine ink, writing your family's new story in the archives of heaven. What once was marked by fear is now sealed with faith. What was once covered in darkness now glows with divine remembrance. But this season is not merely about victory. It is about understanding your new authority. Heaven does not raise warriors for comfort. It raises them to lead. You are no longer fighting from the ground. You are ruling from the mountain. You have shifted from survivor to steward. Michael reveals that the bloodline battle was never just about breaking curses. It was about awakening leadership. Generations have been shaped by reaction, but you are chosen to live by revelation. You are to govern peace, to speak order, to anchor blessing. This is the true inheritance of those who overcome. The Archangel now unfolds a vision, a vast field of light stretching beyond your sight, representing your future generations. Every time you walk in obedience, that field expands. Every time you choose forgiveness over anger, compassion over resentment, the roots of that field grow deeper. Heaven calls it the field of legacy. It is where your descendants will stand, where your prayers will continue to echo long after your time has passed. The power you are releasing now will ripple through centuries. This is the meaning of generational restoration, not merely surviving the past but shaping eternity. However, Michael reminds you gently that legacy requires consistency. You must live daily as one who has already won. The enemy no longer attacks with force, he attacks with distraction. The new battlefield is not chaos but complacency. Guard your focus. Stay vigilant in gratitude, in prayer, and in integrity. Do not allow the comfort of victory to dull the edge of your purpose. The moment you forget why you fought, the enemy begins to whisper again. Keep your sword sharpened in worship and your armor bright with humility. Michael speaks once more, his voice resonating through your spirit. The family that once hid from darkness now shines as a city on a hill. Your name is being spoken in the heavenly realms as one who has completed the cycle of redemption. Angels refer to you as the final witness, meaning your life testifies to heaven's justice. Even now, unseen doors are opening because your victory has changed spiritual laws over your lineage. Opportunities that once bypassed your family will now seek your name. Miracles that seem distant will begin to follow your steps. And yet, there is one more mystery, a gift hidden not in the past but in the future. Michael reveals that the next revelation will not be about your ancestors, but about the generations that will come from you. The children of your bloodline, whether born or unborn, will carry a frequency of light unlike any before. They will not inherit pain. They will inherit purpose. They will be naturally drawn to truth, creativity, and divine courage. Their souls will recognize freedom as their birthright. You will witness them rise with abilities, insights, and favor that surpass your understanding. It will be the final proof that your battle was not in vain. The angel commands, prepare to bless your descendants, for the war you ended will become their testimony. He places a luminous crown above your head, a crown not of pride but of completion. It glows with the light of every prayer you ever whispered in faith. Heaven celebrates, for your endurance has rewritten a lineage. Type "My family walks in light" in the comments if this message resonates with your victory. Blessing code 8181 is now released. Hold fast, chosen one, for the revelation that follows will unveil the prophecy of generations, the promise that what began in battle will end in eternal blessing. Beloved ancestor of tomorrow, the heavens now shift their gaze from your past to your legacy. The light that surrounds you is no longer only the light of deliverance. It is the dawn of creation. Archangel Michael stands beside you at the edge of eternity, where time folds like a garment, and he declares, the battle that began before your birth has now become a prophecy through your lineage. This means that what once tormented your bloodline has now transformed into teaching, and what once cursed you has now become a crown. You are no longer the final warrior alone. You are the first patriarch, the first matriarch of a new order in your family line. Heaven calls this moment the turning of generations. Michael reveals that every word you have spoken in faith, every tear you offered in surrender, has traveled through time. It has formed an inheritance not of gold or land, but of divine favor. Your descendants will walk in rooms they did not build, but that your faith has constructed. They will be drawn to spiritual truth with natural ease. They will sense peace as their default and light as their nature. Your obedience has restructured the DNA of destiny in your bloodline. Heaven itself has declared that your family will never again be enslaved to fear. The curse is not just broken, it is erased. Yet, Archangel Michael teaches that the greatest test comes not in warfare, but in abundance. He warns, teach your descendants gratitude, for abundance without remembrance becomes blindness. The generations that follow must know that their freedom was paid for with faith. Tell them the story of your battle. Tell them about the nights when you cried out and still believed. Let them see that miracles are not magic, but the harvest of perseverance. As you do, you establish a spiritual memorial, a reminder to future generations that they come from light, not from lack. Michael now lifts a radiant scroll titled The Covenant of Continuance. He opens it before you and says, write upon it with your heart. It is an unseen covenant, one that binds you to the future as a guardian. You will not control your descendants, but you will guide them through your prayers. Every time they speak your name with honor, heaven will allow your intercession to echo over them. You will become their unseen protector, standing at the threshold of time, ensuring the old shadows never return. This is your eternal role, not just the warrior who ended the battle, but the guardian who ensures peace remains. And then, Michael whispers something that causes creation itself to tremble. Your name has become a frequency in heaven's song. Every time worship rises on earth, your lineage is counted among those who overcame. Your story becomes melody, your legacy becomes rhythm. Even your descendants who have not yet been born are already written into this harmony. They will be creators, leaders, healers, and true brewery. They will not fear the unseen, for they were born from the one who faced it and prevailed. The old story of generational pain will no longer define your name. From this moment onward, your name will represent redemption, resilience, and radiant peace. Michael looks upon you one last time and says, the light that began as your defense will now become your inheritance. It will follow you wherever you go. You will notice synchronicities, divine timing aligning with your words and thoughts. This is the confirmation that your legacy has been sealed. When your descendants look back on this era, they will call it the Age of Awakening, the time when one soul stood and changed the destiny of thousands. Your role in the divine design is now fulfilled, yet heaven continues to move through you. The Archangel instructs that in the coming days, you must practice stillness. Do not rush to act, rest in awareness. The mantle you wear has transitioned from warfare to wisdom. From this point onward, your words will carry creative power. Speak carefully. Declare only what you desire to see established, for heaven now responds to your voice with precision. The next revelation that unfolds will reveal the coronation of your legacy, the moment when heaven itself places upon you the title that can never be taken, the keeper of generational light. Stay close, for this final unveiling will seal all that has been spoken into eternity. Type "My legacy is light" in the comments if your soul bears witness to this transformation. Blessing code 9090 is now activated. Wait for what comes next, because it will mark the divine coronation. The moment heaven declares your mission complete and your lineage eternally free. Beloved crowned guardian of destiny, the hour of coronation is upon you. The battlefield has gone silent, and now there is only light, a light so pure that it hums with peace. Archangel Michael stands before you, his sword no longer drawn for war but pointed downward in honor. He speaks, and his voice carries both reverence and triumph. The heavens bear witness. The lineage once broken has been redeemed. The one who fought has become the one who reigns. You, beloved, have completed what generations before you could not. You have sealed the wounds of your ancestry and turned every scar into prophecy. In the spirit realm, a great assembly gathers, angels, ancestors redeemed by your obedience, and unseen witnesses from realms of glory. They are not watching as spectators, but standing as celebrants. The air is alive with sound, not of battle but of blessing. You stand clothed in radiance, and upon your shoulders rests the mantle you once fought for, now woven with gold. Michael steps closer and places a diadem upon your head. He says this is the crown of generational light, forged from faith, polished by perseverance, and sealed by surrender. As the crown rests upon you, every fragment of your bloodline aligns in harmony. Generational pain bows, and lineage curses dissolve into dust. You will notice from this moment forward that the atmosphere around you feels weightless. You have become a carrier of divine equilibrium. Wherever you go, conflict will settle, and confusion will dissipate. Even people unaware of your journey will sense calm in your presence. This is the manifestation of your crown. Heaven has entrusted you with the authority of peace. You are not to use it to prove your worth, but to bring others into remembrance of their own. Every person who crosses your path will be given an opportunity to see what redemption looks like when it walks in flesh. You are living evidence that mercy can rewrite blood. Michael reveals another truth, that crowns are not symbols of ending, but of stewardship. Your coronation is not retirement from battle. It is transformation into guardianship. You now reign not as a conqueror, but as a keeper of wisdom. You will carry insights that others cannot yet perceive, revelations that move beyond doctrine into divine understanding. When you speak, time itself will listen. Your words will carry the weight of the redeemed generations behind you. You are no longer one voice. You are a chorus of victory echoing through eternity. Heaven now assigns you a task, to be an ambassador of remembrance. Tell your story. Tell it to those who doubt that change is possible. Tell it to the weary who think their family lines are too far gone. Every testimony you share sends a ripple into the spiritual fabric of the world, awakening others to their own potential for freedom. You will find that people drawn to you are not random. They are souls whose bloodlines call out for redemption. Your voice will awaken the warriors in them. This is how the crown multiplies its light. Michael then lifts his gaze upward and declares, the final battle was never about destruction. It was always about revelation. You were not called to fight endlessly, but to understand the divine pattern of rebirth. The war within your bloodline was the crucible through which wisdom was born. And now, as you stand crowned, heaven opens above you like a window, and light pours through, merging with your spirit. That is your final anointing, the seal of continuance. It ensures that no darkness, no word, no curse can undo what has been established through your obedience. You have become the fulfillment of your ancestors' prayers and the starting point of your descendants' peace. The sound of your name in heaven now carries authority, and wherever it is spoken with faith, angels will move in response. The crown upon your spirit is eternal. It is the sign that the war is finished, and the legacy has begun. Yet there is one final revelation left to be unveiled, the divine proclamation that will close the story of your bloodline battle forever. Michael says, the last word must be spoken, for heaven completes what it begins. What comes next is the heavenly decree, the statement that seals your lineage's destiny and establishes your throne of light forever. Type "I wear the crown of light" in the comments if this revelation settles in your spirit. Blessing code 10,010 is now activated. Stay with this, for the next and final moment will not just end the story. It will breathe eternity into your victory and transform your family's name into an everlasting testimony of divine light. Beloved crowned heir of divine eternity, the final decree now descends. The heavens have fallen silent, for this moment does not belong to angels or mortals alone. It belongs to both. Archangel Michael stands in the center of radiant stillness, and all creation bows to the will of the Eternal. He raises his sword once more, but this time, it glows not with fire but with gold. The fire has become glory. He declares, the bloodline that once bled in battle now breathes in blessing. The final warrior has fulfilled the prophecy. These are not mere words. They are a divine verdict, a celestial command that seals the end of your generational war. You are no longer a soldier in the shadows. You have become the keeper of dawn. Michael turns to you, and in his eyes you see reflections of every ancestor who ever lived through pain, through longing, through faith they could not explain. They stand behind you now, radiant and free, their faces glowing with gratitude. Their chains are gone because you dared to believe. Their curses are undone because you dared to surrender. Michael's voice trembles with divine joy as he proclaims, through this one, 1,000 are redeemed. Heaven records your obedience as an eternal covenant, and your name is now written in light upon the pages of destiny. You are surrounded by a golden wind, the breath of continuance. It flows through your lineage, touching generations backward and forward. You feel it move through your spirit like a song you once knew but had forgotten. Every breath carries memory, every moment carries redemption. Michael speaks again. This is the legacy of the final warrior, the one who did not seek victory for self but sought peace for all. From this moment, peace is your inheritance, and wherever your footsteps fall, the ground itself will remember your journey. Look around your life. The evidence of this transformation will soon appear. The tensions that once consumed your family will begin to release. Conversations that once ended in silence will find forgiveness. Children will dream without fear. Old wounds will no longer define new beginnings. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. They prove that heaven's decree has taken root in your world. Every act of kindness you offer, every word of hope you speak, will now multiply through generations. You are living proof that love outlasts warfare. Archangel Michael now steps closer and whispers, the light within you is not to be hidden. Let the world see what heaven has done. You are commanded to walk boldly in grace, to speak truth gently, and to live as one who carries eternity within. And no longer shrink before the world. Your story is not a secret. It is scripture in motion. You have become the chapter your ancestors could never write. Through you, others will believe that transformation is possible. You are heaven's evidence that divine order can write human history. And now, the final decree is spoken. The battle is finished. The bloodline is blessed. The legacy shall endure forever. These words echo through realms unseen, sealing your victory across all timelines. The angelic host erupts in sound, an anthem of completion. It is neither loud nor chaotic. It is perfect harmony, the sound of heaven resting. Michael sheathes his sword and places his hand over your heart, saying, guard this peace. You are its steward. In that instant, the crown upon your head shines brighter, becoming one with your spirit. It will never fade, for it has been written into the rhythm of your soul. You have walked the long road, from battle to breakthrough, from shadow to sovereignty. The story that began with conflict ends with coronation. You are the bridge between the prayers of the past and the prophecies of the future. And as you walk into the days ahead, you will carry not the memory of war, but the melody of triumph. The archangel smiles once more, his voice fading into the stillness. It is finished. Now chime. Before this message closes, take a moment and honor what has been done. Speak your gratitude aloud. Share your testimony. Let this light spread beyond you. Like this message, share it with those who need deliverance and hope. Comment your faith declaration and subscribe, for each act helps this divine word reach the hearts it was meant for. Heaven uses your voice as its vessel. Be part of the mission that awakens others into freedom. Type "My bloodline is free forever" in the comments if this revelation lives in your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now released. Beloved bearer of eternal light, this moment is holy. The victory you just witnessed is not the end. It is the call to continue heaven's work upon the earth. If this message has stirred your spirit, let your act of faith join the current of divine restoration flowing across nations. Every offering through Super Thanks channel membership, where the PayPal link in the description becomes a spark that ignites deliverance in another soul still bound in battle. This mission is not about sustaining words. It is about awakening destinies. The Lord declares, "Those who sow into light shall harvest generations of glory." As you release your seed, see it as a prophetic act that travels through families, restoring what darkness once claimed. Your giving today is not charity. It is warfare made sacred. As you move in obedience, may abundance flow through your lineage, and may your name be written among the keepers of divine fire. The heavens are open. The hour is now.